Welcome. Today we're going to do a new layout called a border layout. And for this layout, I'm going to do something a little different where I've typed up most of the code right now. I'll just kind of explain it. So in line 24 right here, what I've done is instead of writing new flow layout, what I'm going to use is called a border layout. Now a border layout means there's a north, south, east, west, and a center part of the GUI. Now each one of those sections you make what's called a panel and stick it into that section of the GUI. So right here we're going to look at lines 25 through 30. So what I do is first I created a J panel, and I think of this as like a blank canvas in art. So and I called this North Canvas. And inside of that canvas, so this blank piece of art, I want to put in two labels. I'm going to make a label called GM label. And it's going to say welcome to GM, and then I'm going to add that to the North Canvas. I'm going to say North Canvas dot add GM label. Then I'll make another label that's called Author Label by Mr. Snyder, and then add that into the North Canvas. So I stuck the two labels into the canvas, and now to add it onto the screen, onto the GUI, what I do is I do add North Canvas, border layout, and then where on the border layout I want to stick it. I want to stick it into the north. Now we repeat this process a few times here. We make a west canvas. So this is another J panel, another blank canvas, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add J label last, new J label, enter in last name, west canvas, add the last. Then I do J text field, last field, and then add last field onto the canvas. And I'm actually going to add no, actually I won't. Okay, I'll do something else second. Then J panel, center canvas. This is where I'm going to add a J label with results. Later on the results are going to print up here. I'm going to add that onto the center canvas. Then I'm going to stick the center canvas into the center. And finally, I'm going to make a panel, a south canvas, add a button for username. I make the button active. Then I add south canvas, add the user, and then I make it to the south. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do J panel. I need to make an east canvas equals new J panel. And I'm going to make a J label for the first name. First equals new J label. Enter in first name. And then I'm going to make J text field. First text equals new J text field. And make that 8 capital W's wide. I forgot to add in, so east canvas dot add first. Then I'm going to make this east canvas dot add first text. And then I'm going to add the east canvas into the east part of the layout. Up here I realize what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make this layout a little bigger, 800 by 400. So I'll run this and it makes it 800 by 400. Notice in the north it's welcome to GM by Mr. Snyder. This is over in the west, results, enter in first name in the east and username down in the south. So what I want to do is make the username button active. So right here, username button active. I've already brought in the action perform method, and I say if word equals username. This is what I want to happen. All of you at GM know your passwords, your usernames are your last name, followed by your first initial of your first name, followed by at student.fccps.org. So what I'm going to do is I want to go get your last name. So I'm going to save string. I'm going to save it as a string last name equals, and what I want to do is get it out of the text field. So right here is last name, for that's the label. So here's the text field. I want to get the information out of here, so I need to make this a global variable. So I copy this, Command C, and then delete the local part. So that gets rid of it being a local variable. Now I go above public static void main and make it a global variable. So what I could do here is I do last name equals last field dot get text. So that gets the text out of the last field and saves it as last name. Then what I want to do is string first name equals, okay, so I want to now make the first name global. So right here it's called first text. So I Command C, copy this, make sure you delete J text field so it's no longer local, make it a global variable, and now you do first text dot get text. Now to print this up, I want to print this up in the results in the middle, the J label here. So again, I need to make that global because I need all the methods to be able to use that. So to not make it local, delete the declaration up front, declare it globally, and now I could do results. Now this is going to be incorrect for a second. Results dot set text to last name plus an no space plus first name plus at student.fccps.org. So this would be your username, and we'll run it for a second, make sure it works. Snyder William username. So if it created well for me, it would say Snyder William at student.fccps.org. Now I just want that first initial. I just want the W. The way we get this, and this is something we did earlier this year, we do char first letter equals, we want the character at the first spot of your first name. What you do is then first name, so you get the string, and you say char at 0. So spot 0, the first letter of this string. And now I don't want it to be first name, I want it to be first letter. Run this. I type in Snyder Heath, username, Snyder Heath at student.fccps.org. So this is how you use a border layout, how you end up pulling, getting, setting text, how you make buttons active. Hopefully you learned a little bit in this.